freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks, dude here, coming out again, iteration of Dude After Dark. Let me see if I can't get my my ducks in a row. Excuse me, let me move this over here. And I have to reposition a couple things because literally I am running things strangely. I mean, literally it is a situation where I'm working off, well, the spare smartphone. You know, literally, I can show you like reflection here. Smartphone, like, reflection off the other smartphone. So essentially, that's how we're running things concurrently on the related situation of the home computer taking a major sound guy. How would you say that? No, sound guy. Sound guy. It did something very.
It's spicy.
It did something else.
I'm fallen, and I can't get up.
The name is.
No, Joe Kaka is irrelevant right now. We're not talking about Joe Kaka. Joe Kaka is, he's kind of a non-starter. He really is a non-starter. Okay, well, that's not exactly where I was going with that, but sure. Just do a couple things here, trying to get my ducks in a row, as it were. Let me put myself on monitor type status, so I'm now currently looking at myself because the chat room is bitty on a smartphone, and I do mean bitty. So hopefully you guys are seeing these things, good stuff like that right now, and let me make sure it is currently functional. There is that lag thing, and it's called latency. It's when you basically do something online or through a sound system, and how long does it actually physically take before it goes to the live. So currently looking at it now, I'm looking at the live. So it is now currently live. I'm now currently looking at myself on YouTube in a letterbox. Sorry, guys. Just unfortunately, it's just going to be best status for right here. So it is probably going to be better just done audio. So living in video, doing audio. So good stuff like that there. Hopefully it is working concurrently with being not too crazily jacked up. Anyway, let's look good back into the scheme of things here. Let me lose that one. I got too many tabs open. It kind of is just sensory overwhelming. Anyway, crank up a little bit more light here, maybe. A little better. Anyway, none of you guys heard about it. Obviously, we've been living in a cave now, if you haven't heard about it. So, what's going on now is essentially there is a crew back from the ISS who didn't really intend to be up there quite nearly so long. Martina Sasquatch, appreciate you hanging out, dude. So looking at stuff as it is, they have made their safe landing, having returned to Earth, and good stuff like that there. And sound guy, what? No, they made a safe landing. Okay, they made a safe landing. They did not crash. Stop that. It was a safe landing, okay? Oh, no! Sound guy, stop. Anyway, it took a new administration to tell Elon Musk, dude, go for it. Head on up there with one of your, dragon guys, pick them all up, bring them on back. And it was a safe trip. Brought up a new crew, brought back the old crew. And I thought it was just the two of those guys up there kind of maybe doing, maybe a little bit of, hey, as long as we're up here, hey, I got an idea. Let's just, have a little bit of, yeah. Okay, I don't know about all that, but I'm thinking they maybe had, well, would you even have a bed squeaking in space? No. Ah, jeez. Okay, but there would be zero gravity, so things would be a little bit, well, different, okay? Things would be just a little bit, well, different. Sound guy. It would be different, all right? No, it wasn't even a joke. Stop that. Stop that. Sadly, you can't get an OG. What is zero G? Well, yeah, it's only blood pressure, dude. You could do that. Stuff that's in the room, I'm not going to take out of the room. Let's just say, dude would not require a Cialis because you're not fighting gravity. Excuse me 1 second here. Anyway, so way, shape, and form, we now have a crew safe back at home. There is a recovery period. Like I was hearing, interviews like the Joe Rogan interview that, Elon Musk did again. I mean, those two guys have been like hanging out almost. And Elon was like, if you're up there a period in time of X, it's fine. But if it goes longer than that, it's not the best thing for the human body. The recovery process is not great. You lose 1% of bone mass per month. There is a breakdown, obviously, atrophy, because you're not constantly fighting gravity. You're not nearly working nearly as hard. You have to work out a lot to try to maintain your muscle mass because you're not fighting gravity. So anyway, way, shape, and form, which we find ourselves, those guys are now back, and they're now literally fighting gravity. So everything that we've been contending with, dealing with, and just, living normal lives ain't the same thing for those guys, because they literally have had zero pull on their bodies with the exception of microgravity. There is still gravity up there, but they're up like a couple hundred miles, so the gravity is way less than down here on Earth. But there is still gravity. If you like park something in front of you, eventually it'll start pulling to like one side, up, down, whatever it is, orientation back towards Earth. It'll eventually get pulled, and as it's getting pulled, it will accelerate. Obviously it'll go faster, like bumps in a wall. So these guys are now back. They have, I think they said it was about a 90-day recovery process, maybe maybe a little bit longer. But essentially what it is they have to literally work out to the point where they're now able to motivate themselves around. And of course, their body now has to get used to blood being pulled from head down to feet. So all that stuff wasn't happening. One of the classic problems they've always described in zero gravity, of course, is, you get puffy because, you basically you have full body edema because you're not having like gravity pulling your blood down, pulling your, vascular juices down, all the rest of your juices down, and making your body have to physically force into process to circulate it all. And, in so doing, normal function of which we literally are just, that's how we're made to work. We're not made to work in zero gravity. I mean, obviously we can get into zero gravity, but we're not physically made to work in zero gravity. It is an acclimatization of basically the human organism of which it is not engineered to do. Let's see, what was that? That's something buzzing. That was weird. Anyway, so way, shape, and form, we found ourselves. These guys are now back. Good stuff like that there. And moving on to the next news story. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. This one's actually kind of cool. And this is really kind of one of these portends of good fortune type of things. So the capsule landed in the water. Obviously, it was a parachute landing like you've been seeing from back in the 60s. You see the capsule coming down on parachutes, and it plumps into the water, and it's floating there waiting to be picked up. Now, this is going back from time and eternal, but mariners, sailors, pretty much anybody that deals with the water, dolphins are a sign of good luck and good fortune and safe voyages. So, when the Dragon capsule landed in, I think it was the Gulf of America, keep it correct here, landed in the Gulf of America, they were surrounded by a pod of dolphins, and their dolphins were swimming around and checking it out and whatnot. So that was kind of one of these kind of cool things where it's like, hey, the dolphins are saying, hey, we're here to protect you. We're going to give you good luck, good fortune, good stuff like that there. So anyway, it's been stated as clearly as this. Dolphins have been considered symbols of good luck for sailors as symbols of protection and favorable outcomes throughout history. Just another kind of nice touch. These guys come back and they're welcomed by dolphins. Not a usual thing. And that's kind of like one of those kind of cool things where literally the stars are aligning and it's saying, you know what? Give these guys a little bit of a heads up. That's kind of cool stuff. Scrolly. This one is probably going to drive them absolutely bonkers on the other side of the aisle. But down in Florida, they had a get together and a large get together, and Florida had a drone show showing literally like a kind of caricature figure of Donald Trump standing made out of like the drones showing all their various colors. Wow, that's kind of cool. And anyways, you see the video. I have it on my Facebook page. And literally, these drones are showing like a giant Trump like waving at the crowd or something like that, and there's like a globe and like "Make America Great Again" type of things. Very patriotic, kind of cool. Probably just a little bit less noisy than fireworks. Excuse me one second here. You're just hearing like 1,000 drones going, as opposed to things blowing up. Excuse me one second here. Hitting and sticking like mama's fried chicken. Scrolly. I didn't know about this one, but this is a function of iPhones that literally is kind of one of these, kind of creepy things. I don't know if I would really describe it as something like a cool function, but supposedly there's an iOS option where only the caller can hang up. And there's a picture there showing like, the dashboard of the phone, and it says, "You cannot hang up. Aunt Janet has set the preferences so only she can end the call." Oops. Wow. That is beyond creepy, man. No. I'm not going to let you go. You have to listen to our full, complete conversation because everything I'm going to say to you and everything I'm going to impart upon you is going to be so dramatically needed in daily life. You have to pay attention, and I will not let you. So you're basically stuck with your phone going, yeah, right, yeah, and then if she turns on the camera, she'll see you going, yeah, right, yeah, oh, yeah, Jen, that's very important for me to hear. So that is a function I didn't know that iPhones had. Androids don't do that. Yeah, that's kind of one of those comforting thoughts where you basically go, you know what? I'm not dealing with you anymore. Boop. That is creepy beyond creepy, and I can't believe that Apple installed that function in iOS. Wow. Patriot Fever in the room, dude. Patriot Fever on station on Force. Granted, 3 are interested in Blaze or the Monster Machines. Well, unfortunately, they do have their attractions for like certain inanimate objects and animated objects. So anyway, good stuff like that there. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Good stuff like that there. If you decide to go in the chat room, that's cool. If not, there's some stuff that's in the chat room that you possibly cannot see out of the chat room. Let's just say what happens in the chat rooms sometimes stays in the chat rooms. Yipes. Because sometimes it gets, just more than just a little bit, just a tad,
Ouch, that really hurt.
No, stop that.
I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
No.
I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
Stop. Sometimes it gets a little bit here. Hang on a second. I'm going to find this one, sound guy, okay? It gets a little bit, where was that? Oh, there it is.
It's spicy.
Yeah, it gets a little spicy, okay? Gee, thanks, sound guy. He's saying I finally hit one off the plate. Thank you. Appreciate that. Vote of confidence from the sound guy. Anyway, I can't play the sound. I can't really play the sound clip, and the reason being is YouTube, and this is real-time AI type of crap that they do now. If I play a video clip off of X, formerly Twitter, it blanks it out. So when you guys see the video, it's just like, you'll basically see me here going, and then the sound bite is playing in the background, and it just goes quiet. So literally what happened was, or this is Facebook in this case, same deal, just silences it. And basically what it was Schmuck You Schumer talking smack about, well, you know, you're trying to say that the government is trying to this, that, and the other thing, and you think it's too intrusive, and we take too many of your taxes, and this, that, and the other thing, and we're not going to let you do that. We're basically going to stick ourselves in every bit of your business. Dude, please don't ever stop, okay? Please don't stop. You, my friend, are just golden. Do not stop whatsoever. Dude, do not stop. And I do have the soundbite on my Facebook. You know what? I'm going to see if I can't just grab the link here real fast, and I'll put it in the chat room. So hopefully you guys can click on it on your leisure, but I cannot begin to tell you. It is just like gold. Absolute gold. Wow. And it's basically he's stating the Republican positions. Too much government, too much taxes, too intrusive, too much this, too much that. Politicians up your butt every time you're trying to do something. They're snooping and pooping, taking all the various information that you never ever should give them, and they tend to basically they're too much. What was that, a Hawk 2? Anyway, so it's too much. And they are way too much up in your business. I don't know about that last one, sound guy, but sure. So anyway, scrolling. I cannot begin to tell you how much it is. It is absolutely the oops, I didn't mean to say that in public type of stuff. Same thing with he was going on about like, wow, we put 230 judges in there to stop Trump from being able to do anything. Judges are not supposed to be political. Judges are supposed to be enforcing the laws on the books. And I have another news story coming down the pike from Speaker Johnson that's cool. This is very, very interesting, the way that this little pissing match is starting to, happen right now. This one, I cannot begin to tell you how hilarious it is. Again, it's another one of those videos I can't play. But somebody walked up to Elon Musk and they're like, Mr. Musk, this, that, and the other thing, blah, 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 blah. You, this, that, and the other thing. And Trump goes, you know what? It's also impossible for you to log into your company email account now. And the guy goes, why is that? He goes, because you're fired. He walked right up to him, talked stupid, and got his ass handed to him. This one, I got to be really careful about how I phrase this one, but let's just say that this one has to do with the
SYZPDQOU812. You've got mail.
Okay, so anyway, the XYZ PDQ. Yeah, you got mail, okay? So XYZ PDQ. You keep doing that.
SYZPDQOU812.
Okay, anyway, so coming in, hang on a second, let me lose this tab here. Coming in truthpress.com, the Pride Group founder. Wow. So Pride Group founder has been convicted of, how do I phrase this without phrasing this? Hang on a second. I got this one, sound guy. He committed a little bit of, how would you say this cleanly? I think he literally, you could say that he committed, no, sound guy. It was not snoo, okay? He committed, yeah, okay, okay, we can say that, right, okay. That was a good insertion by sound guy. Yeah, he committed on a 12-year-old boy he met on Grindr. Now, if you don't know anything about Grindr, it is Grinder with an E missing. So Grindr, Grindr. And that is a XYZ PDQ OU812, basically talk on the the guy on guy side of things, okay? So it is a dating app for guy on guy dating when they wish to find some and maybe just a little bit of,
death! Bye!
Yeah, right. Okay, so death by wee. Yeah, they're looking for a little bit of well, yeah, they're looking for that. Okay, not. No. They're looking for
Death!
right. They're looking for wee. Okay, so everybody gets it now. Okay, so death by wee, and not. No. They're not looking for snoo snoo. Snoo snoo would be male female. Okay, so we're talking. They're looking for wee. Right. Anyway, so this guy met a 12-year-old boy on Grindr, and he's an XYZ PDQ OU812 activist, but he's been arrested and found guilty of a truly evil and disgusting criminal act because he committed more than just a little bit of on a 12-year-old boy. So, the BBC, or the British Broadcasting Corporation, reported Thursday that 41-year-old Stephen Ireland was found guilty of, a 12-year-old boy in his apartment on April 19, 2024. Ireland co-founded a group called Pride in Surrey. So that's an area, obviously, in Ireland. In 2018, Ireland's also found guilty of 1 count of sexual assault of a child under 13, 3 counts of causing a child under the age of 13 to engage in activity, and 6 counts of making indecent images of children. His 27-year-old roommate, David Sutton, a Pride in Surrey volunteer, was also convicted on charges relating to the attack. Dude. Wow. Sutton was found guilty of 1 count of possession of extreme pornographic image and 3 counts of making indecent photographs of children, according to the report. The BBC said Ireland met the child on Grindr, a he-on-he dating app. Before he came over to the apartment, Ireland coerced him into kissing, watching porn, and smoking weed, and having, more than just a little bit of, yeah. So this, was looking for with a kid. So both defendants admitted to possessing preservative images of children, and Ireland also admitted to possessing extreme pornographic images. Head of Surrey Police Protection Team, Debbie White, commented, Stephen Ireland is a predator. You can read like the X, the SX type. SX predator who targeted a young boy, took advantage of his age and vulnerability for his own gratification. She added the two tried to hide their crimes after becoming aware of the investigation. Both men then tried to cover up the offending by initially deleting material from their phones once they became aware of the police investigation and following their arrests. You guys got to remember, I've always said, ad infinitum. Translation, it goes out to bazillions of light years away. There is no delete button on the internet, okay? Never, ever put anything out there that you don't want somebody else to grab a copy of and stash for later, okay? Don't do it, because it will come back to, it'll come back to bite you, okay? Trust me in this regard. There's always going to be somebody that's going to grab a copy of your stuff, and it'll be around, and they'll have a copy of it, okay? Don't do this to yourself, because, some dirtbag piece of hit will take your stuff and stash it for later, because they can hold it over your head. And sound guy, what are you doing? Sound guy, hold it over your head, not give it to you like sound guy, really? No, not dealing with that, okay? You're just not dealing with that. Just give me 1 second here. I gotta close my front door. I think the new kitty I think the new kitty is getting spring fever, even though he has been snipped. Sound guy, no. It wasn't. He didn't. He went to the vet. Okay, it wasn't like No, it was a surgical procedure. It wasn't like there was a Rottweiler and they're going, "Hey, those look tasty." Dude, no, stop. Okay, that's just wrong. No. You don't get a ding for chomping the poor kitty. Oh man. I've heard of Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin' Dog Nuts, but not. No, stop. Just stop. Wow. So anyway, this guy basically is getting hosed. They're gonna give him probably something that he really truly wants, because now that yeah, he's gonna be in the jail, and he might just get more than just a little bit of well.
Snoo!
You're in the jailhouse now.
He might like it. I don't know. If he's into kids and it's a bunch of adults going, you know, boy, you look right cute in them pants right there. Why don't you just come on over here and just yeah, I don't think it's going to work out really well for him, because he's not the most manly looking of men. I gotta tell you, he's really not. Anyway, scrolly. Representatives Eli Crane, Andy Olgas, Andrew Clyde, and Brandon Gill are now teeing up articles of impeachment for the 4 activist judges who are now currently blocking the removal orders from Trump and obviously the ICE department. It's being Judge Engelmeyer, Judge Bates, Judge McDonnell, and of course, Boasberg. So they basically are now hunting up these activist judges to really, really screw with the process. And it's not working out, hopefully, for them very much longer, because hopefully Supreme Court will go, look, here it is, all right? The executive branch can declare situations of emergency, wartime situations, of which you can actually do these things. And you can say, this is sketch. These guys are really, really, really overstaying their visas, or they got in the door and they really, truly didn't belong here in the first place. They need to go. So hopefully that works out in that regard. It's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, the guys have been running around, doing various things to Tesla products. And it's not going to be good, because Bondi has already said, Pam Bondi has already said, Attorney General Pam Bondi has already said, we are not going to allow this. And you, Mr. are going to get more than just a little bit of sound guy. Really? You think that really that was appropriate? Anyway, so these guys setting fire. My biscuits are burning! No. You can knock on the door all you want to. That was not even worth it, okay? That was bad juju. Okay, he's got his finger right on the dog chomp button. He does. So anyway, the guys are basically lighting those things off. They are looking anywhere from 5 to 20 years in the clink, because now they're being seen as domestic terrorists. Not good juju. Don't do that stuff to somebody else's property. And if you do it, remember something very, very important about a Tesla. It has 9 cameras around it, and put on sentry mode, it will record you and uplink and send the information home to say, that's the guy. Looking in the room here. Patriot Fever. They would call it something different than Grinder, he's saying. Yeah. Oh, they actually are guys having to charge the cars. Yeah, okay, I get that one, Patriot Fever. That's cute. So anyway, these guys are now looking at 5-20 in the big house, and that's just the first 3 guys, of which one of them, actually 2 of them, are really kind of XYZ PDQ, not good looking chicks. Just give me 1 second here. I mean, that's the cruelest travesty of fate on these guys too, is also the ones that are like, I'm gonna be a girl. It's like, dude, no. You were a kind of looking guy, but as a girl, no. Oh, sound guys. Okay, that's what it is. Sound guys trying to say they look like dogs. Oh, no, I'm not going there. I think he was trying to say that was the surgical procedure. Dr. Rottweiler to the operating room. Okay, I don't think Dr. Rottweiler has a residency in their jailhouse, okay? I think they're going to stay as they are without further modifications. Anyway, scrolly. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not, but one of Joe Kaka's releases, one of his pardons, dude couldn't keep it together. Wow. I mean, he basically was pardoned with like some serious stuff hanging over him, and he's back at it again. On the street, what did he do? He picked up pretty much exactly where he left off. This friggin' guy. Hey, this guy, hey. Convicted criminal is coming in from TruthFest.com. Convicted criminal's prison sentence was commuted by former President Joe Kaka is back behind bars. Imagine that. Willie Frank Peterson, 52. Dude, you couldn't keep it together at that age? Wow. Was convicted of conspiracy to distribute cocaine in 2023. Was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in jail. His sentence began on February 13, 2023, according to court records obtained by Fox News Digital. So, Biden commuted his sentence to 20 months, allowing him to leave custody shortly thereafter. But on Monday, Peterson was booked for multiple drug-related offenses in Dothan, Alabama. The Dothan Police Department charged Peterson with 2 counts of unlawful possession of a controlled substance and 1 count of possession of marijuana. Okay, I guess in Alabama it's not exactly legal to blaze. It's probably one of the few states that doesn't allow that. Excuse me 1 second here. It's basically been decriminalized in my state, and it's ridiculous. Sometimes I'm driving along, and it's like, oh, geez, I got to roll the windows up, turn off the vent, because literally some guys in front of me is just, he's partying it up, okay? He's really, really just, yeah, so anyway, he's partying it up, driving along, and hoping to get a little bit, yeah. I have no idea what sound guy was trying to say on that one. But anyway, so the guys are basically just, well, you know. Yeah, they're driving along with the reggae playing, smoke probably pouring out of the windows as they're rolling up and blazing up a fatty. Anyway, so he's also busted for possession of drug paraphernalia, 3 firearms-related offenses. Dude. I think that's when the cops go, we've solved the case. Wow. Dude, you didn't get it, and you got lucky the first time, so now you probably can get the better stuff in jail. I wasn't joking. That was just basically an expression. Never mind. They usually said that better drugs are in jail anyway. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but this is going to be one of those type of things. And I do mean extreme, like the guy on Simpsons. Okay, truthpress.com, gonna make it short here. The jury has now ordered Greenpeace, and this is gonna be huge, folks, has ordered Greenpeace. You know, that kind of obnoxious group of people that monkey wrench things, like breaking things, trying to stop people from doing things ecologically, screwing with fishermen, doing all kinds of other obnoxious activities. However, they have now been ordered to pay $660 million with an M, $660 million in damages for a protest against the Dakota Access Pipeline, where they literally broke the pipeline and set it on fire. Why? Because that's more ecologically sound. Burn the oil before it actually gets to the refinery. No. Okay? No. So anyway, these guys now looking basically have to put that kind of cash out, and it's probably going to bankrupt them. And it's probably going to bankrupt them into deficit, meaning they're going to owe big honking amounts of cash. Cannot happen to a nicer group of butt bungs. I got to tell you what, man, those guys are definitely the problem children who make things have happen. Thanks, sound guy. But I'm sure they were going, 660 million? Yeah, and they were probably suffering more than a little bit of the...
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the...
Yeah, not a case of the Mondays, but a case of the... Yeah, wow. More than a little bit of the... Scrolly... I do find it funny. There's guys that are burning their Teslas in protest. You can't fix stupid. And you know the thing about it is Elon's already made his money on it. You torching the thing does not really cost him a dime. So have at it. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. This one, of course, is being one of those things that's just, the guy is blanking hilarious and full on. I cannot begin to tell you just how much it's cracking me up to see him throwing it back in these guys' faces, but just a case of absolute, oh, wow. And I cannot begin to even tell you just how much the news media were like, oh, hugely. J.D. Vance was asked how he's doing his job differently than former Vice President Kamala Harris in an interview with Vince Cogliese. His response was, well, I don't have 4 shots of vodka before every meeting. Ow. Ow. Dude is not playing, man. Going full savage. I do think this is absolutely hilarious. It's going to be one of those coffee on the keyboard type of things. But the Democrats think that this will win big. And they're reportedly pushing for a Sanders/AOC 2028 presidential ticket. Let's just do the math here real fast, okay? We're saying 2028. So this is 2025. So 3 years from now, let's just see. Bernie Sanders is 83 years old. So he'll be 86 when he's thinking of going, we're going to run, we're going to fix things. Dang. And then, of course, there's the other pictures where you have AOC with Tim Walz. Yipes. Just yipes. Guys, it's not good optics. Don't do these things. It's just really not good, okay? Don't, okay? It just is complete and total, yeah, bad piles of stinky, hairy, nasty, yeah, bull splat. Wow. I got there's an older quote from him, but I got to tell you, man, if there's anybody on Supreme Court of the United States that I'd really, truly appreciate, I would really like to meet, it's definitely Supreme Court Justice, Senior Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. And it's been very interesting, when people go, well, the Second Amendment is variable and blah, 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 blah. At the time it was written, it was different. And he stated this classically, clearly. Quote, the right to keep and bear arms was understood by the framers as an indispensable safeguard of liberty, not a privilege to be rationed. Now, he said that in 2010. Wow. The guy really, truly, I'd love to meet him. This one is classic. I mean, you see the nonplussed expression of AOC and the storyline for this one, of course, truthpress.com. But supposedly the Democrats are now really, really starting to get maybe a little concerned behind the scenes, even though they're putting up the brave front and going, we're not used to not losing, we're not used to not winning. Thor's hammer. So former Clinton pollster Matt Penn, and I actually did hear the quote, said on Friday to Fox News that crucial voter groups could be fleeing the Democrat Party. Maybe? I don't know. Could it be maybe that they're now finally sick and seeing and how things are and the fact that they really truly don't get true representation, but they really get a whole bunch of we're going to fix things for you. Just keep voting for us because those Republicans are so bad. Never that they actually are fixing things, but if you keep voting for them because Republicans are so bad, even though things never improve, things never really truly get fixed, the Republicans are just bad. So, the Democrat Party's favorability rating plummeted to a new low of 29%, according to CNN SSRS poll conducted March 9th between 6th and 9th. During an appearance on Hannity, Penn said he was shocked at the current state of the Democrat Party, and he's never seen a rating this low in decades. It's been 30 years, folks. I've never seen anything like this in 40 years of polling. The Democrat Party ratings have collapsed from 47% favorable down to 29, 27 in some of the polls, and it's an incredible loss of moderate working class voters. Yeah, because they're tired of being hosed. They're tired of being screwed over. They're tired of basically looking at the economy being a complete total train wreck. And mostly it's a case of really, truly, they are finally maybe starting to see these representatives and not fixing the problem, are just trying to stay in power. Interesting. These are the kind of voters that the Democrat Party needs to win elections, and they're being struck to the base of left-wing advocates like Bernie Sanders and AOC, who are touring the country carrying the Democrat banner. That's not helping. Ugh. So basically it's like, hey, vote for more of the same or worse because we're better than the Republicans. That's really all they're saying. Notice how things are really starting to turn around now. And of course, they're really playing up this, tariff thing is so terrible. And I really, really, truly hear it constantly as big, stinking, nasty, hairy piles of, just, that's all you hear from these guys is, wow, the Republicans are so bad because, things are, terrible now because the tariffs and, yeah. So anyway, looking at how it is right now for the Democrat Party, they really have a huge hill to climb. And they're not showing as they're doing anything to fix the problem other than vote for us because we're so much better than the Republicans. That's really all they've been offering. Vote for us because we're not the Republicans. That's not good enough. If you're not fixing the problem and you're simply saying the other guys suck, you're really not fixing the problem. You're simply just saying the other guys suck. You should really, really vote for us because we don't suck nearly as hard. I don't know if that was really how I was trying to...
But I pooped from there.
Sound guy, stop. I was not going to that extreme, okay? That was not where I was going. But I think sound guy may have been trying to just stop that, okay? Stop. Wow. He's just
Oh, you touch my...
You got them both in there. Anyway, you touched my troll-la-la.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Anyway, you touched my tra-la-la. Stop. So he's just mashing stuff together at this point. Okay, that's really what he's doing. Let's see. Scrolly got a bunch of stuff. European Union, you know, they're talking tough, but they know that they're not the ones who are swinging the big Richards. They're trying to put the brakes on the latest round of tariffs against the U.S. They're knuckling under fast. Just stand by on that one. These guys talk a good game. We're the big swinging Richards, okay? That's just all there's to it. I mean, you know, they can say, "Well, there's Americans, this, that." Dude, we are the largest buying engine and technology base on the planet. Well, the Chinese are catching up. Dude, the Chinese couldn't go nowhere but up from when they were previously, okay? And the stuff they turn out, oh, it's so amazing. It's technologically advanced and all the rest of the stuff. Why don't you see how well it lasts after about a year or two, okay? Because Chinese technology really is trash. I don't care what they say. I don't think I've been catching up on this one, but Rachel, whatever her tush is, she's been banned, literally banned from Disney for talking smack about the horrendously made remake of Snow White. I got to get into it, folks. This is when the critics start ripping at a new one, you know it's bad. So, The Independent, lazy, visually repellent. The Guardian, exhaustingly awful. The Times, Disney has trashed its reputation. The Huff Post, a strange hot mess. Screen Daily, listless. Vanity Fair, good enough for TV. This thing cost like hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Tons of reshoots, fluff, buff, trying to make it work. People are posting pictures all over X, formerly Twitter. You know, this is the seating plan of the theater where I went to go see it. And there's like me, 3 people. That's not how you make money with a movie nowadays. You need to fill that thing up and you need to make sure it stays consistently full. That ain't happening with this thing. BBC, film has a major identity crisis. Wow. So the critics have spoken. Disney Snow White remake is with a lib a-hole lead actress, is a steaming pile of woke dog mess. That's about the nicest way I could possibly say it. Holy crap. Holy crap. Have you guys been watching the Tesla stock recently? But it's gone up 18.15% in like the last week. Excuse me 1 second here. So Tampon Tim Walz, talking smack about it, has bumped the value. Dude, keep talking smack. All you're doing is making that stock go up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Speaking again of Schmuck You, Schumer, man, this is better than an uncooked hamburger on a grill with unmelted cheese. They are eating their own now. And I'm going to keep this one quick, but Schmuck You, Schumer, he's responded to the Democrats now calling for his resignation as the Senate minority leader. Dude. Quote, look, I'm not stepping down. I'm not stepping down. Sometimes when you're a leader, you have to do things to avoid a real danger when they come down the curve. And I did it out of pure conviction for what a leader should do and what the right thing for America and my party was. People disagree. No, people hate your freaking guts, man. They want you out. Chuck You, Schumer, dude, you are not looking for the long run on this one, buddy. Schmuck You, Schumer. Wow. I don't know if you guys remember the chick that didn't fit in the back of the Lyft vehicle. Rapper, female, Jabba the Hutt cousin, Dank DeMoss. Yeesh. I mean, face-wise, she's not a bad-looking chick, But dude, and I got to use the but dudes. But dude, you're talking about somebody who is north of 400 pounds trying to stuff themselves in the back of a Hyundai. Not gonna happen. That's like trying to shove. Well, how do I say this expressly without trying to do something extremely?
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Yeah, it's just you don't do that, okay? It's
Uh-oh.
no, it's more than twang sound, guy. It is just yeah, it's trying to stuff her in the car is thanks. I needed that. Jeez. Thanks, sound guy. Wow. Anyway, so this Dank DeMoss, and I got so many other ways to fracture her name. Anyway, so Queen Oompa Loompa, aka Jabba the Hutt, in real life, lift dumbass thinks she's a man killer. Dude, I cannot begin to tell you just how much this cracks me up. But she's got this pose. She's standing in front of a Range Rover, okay? Now, a Range Rover is not a small vehicle, all right? She's standing in front of this thing, and she's covering half the hood. And I do mean, like, literally, like, ass is covering, like, half the front of the car. Her upper body is basically covering, like, the upper third of the vehicle. She's blocking like a third of the car just by standing in front of it, all right? Yipes! But anyway, she's stated, quote, if she wants your man, she can have him, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sweetie, no. I mean, the comments on that, post, I think it's Instagram, but it's like, I bet $1 she hasn't seen her meow in years. Her confidence is not grounded in reality. I think she meant have him for lunch, like literally, she's probably some kind of ambush predator. It's more cutting remarks than that, man. But wow. She's like north of 450 pounds? Eesh. All I got to say is, I hope she never ever looks at the guy and goes, you know what? I want you to go downtown. And the guy's going to be like, no! Get off of me! And he'll be, dead duck. Because she's just going to squish him. Wow. This is going to be amazing if this does happen. And this is going to be good if it does come to pass. Person by the name of Liz Wheeler via X, formerly Twitter, quote, if reports are true, and I pray they are, that RFK Jr. is going to ban Big Pharma ads on television, a massive societal earthquake is about to happen on two fronts. Number one, the corporate media will fail. You will watch before your very eyes as a highly paid MSM anchors are fired, networks panic, and some shut down and paychecks aren't paid. The entire business of the MSN is a fake business. It's artificially propped up by massive ad dollars from pharma ads, not because of the return on the investment that the pharma sees peddling our drugs on TV, but rather because of why pharma buys so many ads in the first place, which is to prevent reporting by pharma corruption. Now, if you guys don't know this, 75% of that stuff that they're basically sloshing around in Congress and Senate to try to say, hey, vote for us, the lobbying, is by Big Pharma. So there's a lot of money getting shifted around to say, don't investigate us too much because, this stuff is perfectly fine. Number two, according to when the gravy chain of pharma ad dollars to TV networks stop, we will suddenly start seeing reporting on the corruption of big pharma, drugs, vaccines, medical associations like the AAP, AMA, and government regulation agencies like the CDC and FDA. Reporting that was previously prohibited because of the ad money that pharma paid networks was really just a payoff for silence. Pharma knew they didn't sell drugs off those commercials. It was a money laundering scheme to keep reporters silent about the abuses coming out of pharma. Even Roger Ailes, the guy that actually worked on Fox and worked with Rush Limbaugh, believe it or not, reportedly said, hang on a second here, let's find it again. I lost it. Roger Ailes once admitted that he didn't let his people on Fox News report negatively on pharma because it would destroy their bottom line. So, if reports are true, and I pray they are, that RFK is going to ban pharma ads on TV, the double revolution of big pharma and the MSN is about to begin. Can't wait. Wow. That is awesome, groundbreaking type of stuff, and amazing. Lincoln Project. This guy is just a tool. And I do mean like a tool bag. Like, oh, I'm a conservative. Dude, no, you're a friggin' Nazi in, wolf's clothing, okay? We know you for what you are. So, Lincoln Project Rick Wilson said, they're going to have to go out and put rounds into Donald Trump. Except to use the B-ullet word. And supported domestic terrorism and told people to, quote-unquote, attack. Well, Elon Musk decided he's not dealing with this dickhead anymore, so he's now been permanently account suspended on X, formerly known as Twitter. And he is one of those guys that has the little blue check mark beside his name. He ain't there no more. They're not playing games with these people anymore. So at their Rick Wilson is now an account suspended. You don't get to tout your crap in public on there any longer. I love these guys. They are absolutely freaking hilarious. So the Babylon Bee strikes again. So Elon Musk disguises the IRS building in Washington, D.C. as a Tesla dealership. So Democrats will burn it down. I love the Babylon Bee. Those guys are just funny. Good satire, man. Just good satire. This one being very, very interesting. I mentioned this a little while ago, read like at the start of the program. Talking now about Speaker Johnson. This one's coming in from truthpress.com. Speaker Johnson has issued a warning. Congress has the authority to defund and disband federal courts. That's right, folks. They still got that power. Just give me 1 second here. House Speaker Mike Johnson said Congress has broad authority over federal courts on Tuesday, like today, as lawmakers search for response to district judges who have blocked President Donald Trump's actions. Now, here's the thing. Federal judges should never, ever be able to go blanket, whole United States, can't do it. So here's the thing. Trump, Musk, and all the rest of those guys have been secretly poking the bear, trying to get these guys to do these things, and then make it in such a way that they could go, you know what? It's time to counter this Bravo Sierra. So, we do have authority over the federal courts, Johnson said at a press conference, quote, we can eliminate an entire district court. We have the power of funding over courts and all these other things, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and Congress is going to act. Johnson later said he did not mean to comment as a threat, but instead, quote, trying to illustrate we have a broad scope of authority over the courts, end quote. Last week, Trump called for the impeachment of Judge James Boasberg, read like one of the four, a U.S. district judge who ordered the administration to temporarily halt the deportation of alleged Venezuelan gang members. He tried to do it when the planes were actually over international waters. That's like outside the United States, dude. You have no authority to say, turn those planes around or else. You got no authority. Now, I did think it was funny. I forget it was Venezuela or one of the other countries, but their president got the planes and he posted on X, Twitter, or somewhere else, and he was like, "Oh, the planes have arrived. Oh, I was supposed to send it back? Oops." It's snarky, but fun. I like the guy. Several House Republicans introduced articles of impeachment against Boasberg and other judges, but the effort is likely dead on arrival as Republicans don't have enough votes in the Senate to bypass the filibuster. You need 60 votes. Instead, House Republicans are considering other ways to limit judges who deliver unfavorable opinions. Next week, the chamber will vote on a bill from Representative Darrell Issa. I like him a lot. Republican California that would limit the district judge's authority to provide injunctive relief, such as the case of Trump's deportation plan. Johnson told reporters there's a problem with activist judges issuing political statements against the president. It's a dangerous trend. It violates our system itself. It violates separation of powers when a judge thinks they can enjoin something that the president is doing. Earlier this month, Supreme Court Justice John Roberts issued a rare rebuke to calls by Trump and other Republicans for impeachment of federal judges over unfavorable decisions. Article 3 of the Constitution says judicial power in the U.S. shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time obtain, ordain, and establish. Translation, ordain, and establish means you basically can toss them too. Yeah, good stuff like that there. Anyway, so looking at things as it is, let me take a look. And is there anything else going on here? Thanks, sound guy. Would you take your finger off the vomit button, okay? Just stop that. Stop, okay? Stop. No more vomit button, all right? No more vomit button. Stop. No more vomit. Stop. Stop. Okay, that's allowed. That's allowed. All right, hanging out on Tuesday. You guys decided to hang out with me in, letterbox format. I truly appreciate that. I'm still working on getting things working. I do have a spare laptop. Maybe I'll get that thing going. The newer laptop just said, "I don't like your stuff." Literally did not like my camera, did not like the Yeti microphone. So I'm not doing that right now. So I'm just simply using low-tech items known as a smartphone. Unfortunately, this is how it is. Hopefully it comes across okay enough, and you guys can check me out at your leisure. Hopefully it sounds okay. I'm still working on sound levels and stuff like that, but sound guy cranks it up too much. All right, anyway, thank you guys for hanging with me. You got a Tuesday, many other things you've been doing. Decided to hang out with me. Got a gold star for attendance, all good stuff like that there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will catch you next week, and I will see you then. Thank you guys, and I will catch you guys later. Where's the button? Catch you guys. See you guys.